Patti, let me ask you. As you know, we include Q&A in all of our online courses, and when we're talking to some stakeholders, HR compliance officers, there's sometimes concern that we're offering that Q&A and that they can't control it. What are your thoughts on the Q&A?
Well, the really simple and straightforward answer is that it's required. It is a compliance issue. When AB 1825 was written, one of the hallmarks of it is that in order for it to be effective training, it needs to be interactive. The participants need to have an avenue to have questions asked and answered. And the way that it was contemplated was in the live training setting. We needed to come up with a way of complying with that component in the computer-based or web-based setting. And so the best way to mimic that is to allow employees to ask any questions that they might have to the trainer himself or herself and have that trainer answer questions.
Okay, so just so that I'm clear, it's part of the law.
It's absolutely part of a legal requirement that you have to allow that component so that employees could get questions answered. And in fact, there's even a second part of the legal requirement, which is that the trainer has to keep records. There's a record-keeping requirement in the law where for 2 years, you've got to keep track of the fact that those questions have been asked and answered.
So records not just of participation, but actually of the questions asked and answered.
Correct.
So what would you say to those stakeholders that say, hey, let's just direct those questions to me and I'll answer them? Is that sufficient?
From a legal perspective, that's just not going to be sufficient. However, it is something that we certainly incorporate into the way that we answer questions. We provide best practices, we provide strategies and tips, and answer the question that employees ask of us. But the other thing that we do that I think is important for stakeholders to understand is we refer them back to the in-house experts, which are the HR folks at the companies. So we're certainly not shying away from making sure that HR gets involved, but it is from a compliance perspective important that we also provide an answer. But Janine, I think the second part of this is beyond the legal compliance. What I also like to explain to people who have questions about this is by you saying to an employee, we don't really want you to ask questions and we're not going to answer them, you're not making the question or concern go away. What you're making go away is your opportunity to answer those questions. You're giving up the control that you have over being able to say, you know what, I want this to be a transparent workforce. I want to know if there are any concerns as early as possible so that I can fix it. So I think that's the other kind of non-legal answer is it's much better to know up front, provide that avenue for questions and answers. We're able to, for example, see if there are any patterns, see if there's anything going on that might indicate that an issue needs to be addressed, and that puts us in a wonderful position to be able to then provide that information to our clients.
Right, exactly. So we're sending it proactively to them so they can address it.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.